Hello. Having to do a retake on this. The last one, the audio didn't pick up. It best fucking pick up this time. Anyway, this video, hello by the way, yeah, supposed to be polite. This video, I'm going to talk about points and how they're pointless. And I'm going to try and come at this through three angles. I was watching this video about public speaking the other day, and the guy said it's always good to put across the same idea three ways. It just makes it easier to understand. So I'll give that a crack. So, first way. What is a point? A point is a reason why we do something. So I go to work so that I can have money to live in a house, you know? The issue, the question to like kind of get at where I'm getting at is when people ask you, what's the point to life, right? As if life is meant to have some kind of reason beyond itself. And what they're saying, excuse the burp, is that in order for life to be meaningful, or in order for life to be fun and worth living, there has to be a point. Otherwise, what's the point in living? They will say. and this is kind of what the Buddhists and Hindus mean by samsara in certain interpretations, especially as Alan Watts talks about it. And the problem with a point is that you achieve it, and then what? Then what do you do? And in a sense, what a point does is it makes the activity that you're doing in order to get that point a chore. That's why work's the epitome of what a point is. And it's funny when people say to me, what's the point to life? And I say, there is no point. They're like, oh no, that's really, really bad. You're nihilistic. And it's like they're kind of saying that it's almost like a Stockholm syndrome. They've become enamored by their own suffering. And then they want to kind of justify it. And that seems to be what most people are saying to me, is that they're trying to justify their, I have a right to suffer. And yeah, you do. You're free, mate. You can do what you want. Anyway, the second way of getting at this is meaning. So people will ask the same question, right? But instead of point, they use the word meaning. What does it mean? What's the meaning of life? And you say to them, there is no meaning. They're like, oh, you can't say that. Then why shouldn't I commit suicide? Why shouldn't I do this, that, or the other? And it's the same old problem. Meaning, right, it's to do with language. Words can have meanings. This, no meaning at all. I mean, you look at that thing there, right, that's a pan. I call it a pan, that's its name, right? But that doesn't mean pan. It doesn't mean the sounds I make with my gob, does it? No, it doesn't. It's just what it bloody is. It's there. It's the same problem we have when we try to identify ourselves. Who am I? You know, what do I mean? Kind of thing. And all that we can say is what Yahweh says. I am that I am. That's all. That's the closest answer to the truth we're going to get, because there is no kind of big answer. And so it's again, I mean, they kind of imagine that if you could get to the meaning behind reality in life, then you'd be like, oh, you know, satisfaction, contentment. But if you're saying that the condition to make life worth living is that it has a meaning, if you were to get beyond life to what it meant, and that thing doesn't have a meaning, then what are you going to do? Does that have a meaning? And then what about the thing beyond that? Does that have a meaning too? What about what that means? Does that mean at one point it's got to stop? There's got to be a ground, a kind of source, a point at which you stop asking fucking questions. But you don't have to stop. You can carry on asking. And then the third way of getting at the same thing, it's all addiction. That's what this point thing is. That the point, achieving a point, finding another point cycle, is the addictive cycle. That's why us humans are addictive creatures. And it's got the same kind of characteristics. You've got the skaghead, you know, he's injecting his arm with heroin. And while he's high, yeah, he may be quite happy. And if he's aware, there might be that little hint of Gedanken, that thought at the back of his mind, which is like, you know, this is going to end, and I'm going to run out of heroin. Then what am I going to do? Oh, no. And that's like what points of meaning are. Yeah. And so the idea that it's all purposeless, pointless, meaningless, is actually, when you look at it, it's fun, because points are what we use to make ourselves do stuff we don't want to do. Like work is the epitome of what points mean, or what points are. I work in order to live, kind of thing. And they're trying to turn everything into a chore. The thing is, when you kind of see this, when you're taking points and meaning seriously, it's like it's a life or death thing, and you can't let go of them. Surely not, I can't think of living any other way. And they're kind of terrible to you. Points like mines, they make terrible masters, but really good servants. And when you stop taking them seriously, they just become excuses to play the game. You know, it's like the excuse to play the game of chess is to beat the opponent. But really, what's fun is the whole process of thinking through different combinations of moves and stuff like that. I'm not actually a brilliant chess player. I just enjoy the game. Goodbye.